Hello, everyone. Tonight, I'm doing a stream on how to love yourself. Um, this is a presentation um, that I made a while ago, and now I am presenting it. I'm going to be reading off slides for the most part. Hopefully, I'll be doing some commentary as well. Um, so yeah, let's get started. Um, we have gameplay. Oh no, wait. Whoops. Wrong one. Okay, wait. Uh, Here we go. Yep. Okay. You can see it. So, how to love yourself. Um. Oh. So, some of you may have heard of the five love languages. It's a psychology thing I was told about um, some years ago. Um, and the five love languages are basically like they're ways to love other people. And everyone kind of like has preferences and what love languages that they like, and maybe which ones they don't. Maybe someone loves all of them. And basically, you want to. I guess the idea is to like ask people that you love what their love languages are, so you can strengthen relationships. So, um, when people say like, oh, like treat yourself like you would treat your best friend, or love yourself like you would love a friend. This kind of goes into love languages. I don't know very many friends that um talk about love languages. It would be awesome if they did. Um, I usually hear love languages in the context of like family or romantic partners, but you can absolutely talk about love languages with your best friend. So yeah, so love languages. So yeah, so you want to use these love languages that you would use for other people. You want to use these love languages for yourself as well. So what are the five love languages? We have words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, physical touch, and I'm going to go further into those in the rest of the slides. And I added, in the context of loving yourself, I added two other ones: learning about yourself and sitting with your pain. Which I just realized now those two also apply to other people. You want to learn about other people and also um, sit with them in their pain. If you're emotionally available to do that. Um, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go go to the next slide. Words of affirmation. This is, in the context of loving yourself, this is positive self-talk. So ask yourself, like, how do you speak to yourself? What are the things that you say to yourself? This also kind of like goes into thinking patterns. Thoughts can certainly be involuntary. So the things you think about are tricky because like there's some things that we can think on purpose, and then there's other things like intrusive thoughts that just kind of pop up, and like there's not much you can do about that. But today we're talking about the thoughts that you do intentionally think. So when speaking to yourself, things that you want to do, you want to validate yourself. You want to acknowledgement that pretty much the same as validation. Um, and you want to give yourself sincere compliments. Um, this is kind of like other than like the regular things you think about. Because I always hear people say, like, wow, like if I'm not having negative thoughts, what do I think about? Some people don't really think, and they're just like very like kind of like in the moment. Some people like think about things that they're interested in, kind of like I guess hobby type stuff. And then what is it? Yeah, there's a longer list, but I want to stay on topic and not go on tangents. When speaking to yourself, things you do not want to do, you do not want to gaslight yourself. You do not want to minimize your feelings. You do not want to belittle yourself, and like say mean things to yourself. The other very important thing is no offensive sarcasm. So, for example, if your therapist or whoever else is saying like, hey, like, you need to love yourself. Maybe they'll give you like a worksheet of like nice things to say to yourself. Like I love myself. Like if you're saying I love myself sarcastically, then that's not gonna feel very good. uh, so you definitely, because like if you say, I love you sarcastically to someone else, like, they're not like that's not a nice thing to do. So you don't want to use offensive sarcasm with yourself. Let's see. Let's go down. Oh yes. How do you validate yourself? Um, so instead of saying why am I so sad, you want to say I'm sad right now, and that makes sense given what's happened. Or I don't need a reason to be sad. So like there's in our world today, there's a lot of things going um not so well that can make us sad. And like even if the world was a perfect place, we still have all these like very natural life cycle things that, can cause sadness. So like even if you're in like the most perfect situation, like you're still gonna have things, that you're gonna be sad about. Um and also even if things are like the most perfect ever, or if they're not, like you don't need a reason to be sad. um there's like there's something that was explained to me that I'm like trying to figure out how to repeat. There's kind of like this cultural attitude slash expectation around happiness and joy, and in reality happiness and joy make up a small amount of our a small portion of our lives compared to kind of like all like the feelings that you can experience. So like sometimes you're sad because being sad is just a human experience. um so yeah, I'm going to check the chat, make sure. Okay, there's nothing in the chat. Okay. I don't see the chat. So if you want to write something, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to address it when I need to figure that out. Anyway, let's get back to the slides. More validation examples. You can say, I did a really good job handling that difficult situation at work. Like give yourself a pat on the back. I made really great progress in the past 6 months. Yeah, so what is it? So yeah, so acknowledge when, when something's difficult and you got through it, acknowledge when you've made a lot of progress in certain areas or all areas. And then also thank yourself for doing things that help you. Um, so like, is it, if someone does something for you, um, and I always have a difficult time remembering to say thank you. But if someone does something for you, the nice thing to do is to say thank you. So thank yourself when you do something for yourself. Um, yeah, thank yourself. Um, and this also like gratitude like goes beyond things that you do. You can be um, grateful for like aspects of your for aspects of yourself that are not action oriented. Um, just I'm grateful that like I'm grateful for um okay wait, I lost my train of thought. um yeah, because the example I was going to give is kind of in conflict with some of my other slides. Anyway, I'm going to move forward. Validation, compliments. Okay, so how do you compliment yourself? This is kind of based on what are good ways to compliment other people, which hopefully I will make a um, something about that in the future. But compliments, compliment something. Oh no, wait, compliment. Sorry. I am off track. I'm going to start the slide again. Compliments. Compliment over something that you chose. You want to compliment over something specific. You want your compliment to be sincere, and you want to compliment yourself without expectations. So complimenting yourself over something that was your choice. Um, so this is kind of based off if you compliment someone else over something that they didn't choose, that can or like if you've ever received compliments about something that you didn't choose, it can kind of feel weird. Uh, what is it? So like if you're complimenting, I've seen it a lot on like therapy worksheets where like people will compliment like body parts, which like if like telling yourself that you're sexy is awesome. You should definitely tell yourself that you're sexy. Um, Complimenting yourself on like specific body parts, however, like I don't know, like it just doesn't really vibe. Because it's not something that like you chose. What is it? Complimenting something specific. So like compliments where you spaced out. Okay. Um, compliments, compliments. You know, telling yourself like, "Oh, you're awesome." That's great. When you compliment something specific, it makes the compliment so much more meaningful. So it's like instead of saying like I'm awesome, you're like I'm awesome like because, and then like three more sentences, and it's just like the joy is just like getting bigger inside you because it's like oh my gosh, like I'm not just awesome, like I'm awesome because like yada 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 yada. Um I feel like I need to give an example after I go through this list. Compliments must be sincere. So if you compliment yourself about something and like you just do not believe that at all whatsoever, um, it can like not that can like feel bad and just like not vibe. And then complimenting without expectations. So this is like sometimes people will get in their head like, oh, like if I do, X amount of like therapy or coping skills or whatever, um, that like my life is going to like that like I'm gonna achieve like other goals like I'm gonna be better like in my career, my relationships, etc. So complimenting without expectations would be in a situation like that where like you compliment yourself even if things are not going well. Because in life, like sometimes things are just not going to go well. And if you're only complimenting yourself under the condition that something else is happening, like that's not good. That it can it can make yourself feel like really bad. Especially when, if you're in a bad place, like that's when like you're going to need a compliment. So uh so in terms of like if you're like trying to think like, okay, like what do I compliment myself about? So these are examples of areas in which your compliment can be. So you can compliment something that you think is fun or that you know a lot about. You can compliment a skill that you took time to practice and develop. And then you can compliment actions, things that you have done. Um, excuse me. So, as an example, I feel like I'm talking faster than my brain is thinking. Um, an example. Um, um, what is that? Okay, I'm gonna I guess like compliment myself as an example. Um, so um, I think that it is so awesome that you made you made a PowerPoint on this topic. You put a lot of time and effort into the information on the slides, and I'm really happy that you thought about this topic a lot, um, because it's something that seems like there's not a lot of information about. Um, yeah. So yeah. um, so what you want to do is that you want to do the same thing for yourself about something in your life that you've done. Um, yeah, that's compliments. Another thing you can do with words of affirmation is you can write yourself a love letter. So, excuse me. I'm gonna. No, I mean, no, I'm not. I'm gonna blow my nose. Okay. I'm back, I think. Okay. um so love letters are okay, sorry. Tangent. Something that I see a lot that you can also do is write like post-it notes. Like, sorry, you can write post-it. You can write nice things to yourself about yourself on post-it notes, and just I think a full compliment would be very long. I think usually post-it notes have like very short phrases, but you know, you can also you can also like just tape like big papers around of longer compliments. But yes, okay, back on topic. Love letters are love letters are they're letters. They're I like it's literally like imagine, you know, before the internet when people would write love letters to each other to express their love. Do that for yourself. Write yourself a love letter. Like, you know, just because the internet is here now doesn't mean you you know you have to stop, you know, writing love letters to the people you care about or to yourself. Um, so you know what like you know, yeah, if you're trying to figure out like if you need like a prompt or a topic regarding love letters, because you don't need to have one, but if you do, you can write yourself a love letter for like different like days of the year. So you can do like Valentine's Day. You can do your birthday. You can do you know, any like holidays that you celebrate. You know, you can do something for like New Year's if like you're into New Year's resolutions, or like you know, there's like the half year resolution. Year. Oh, so yeah, that's like days of the year. You can also write yourself letters for like times in your life. So you can write yourself a letter for like when you're like kind of like struggling and you're in a bad place. You can write yourself a letter for like specific events in your life, like you know, like breakups, or um, you know, if someone you care about passes away, um, or like you can also write yourself letters for like positive events. You know, like if you get like a dream job, or if like you have a kid, or if you get married, or you know, those are just like examples of positive things. There's like many other positive things. Those were just ones on the top of my head. But yeah, so yeah, those are love letters. I think that's the last side for words of affirmation. Yes, next love language is acts of service. Acts of service are doing in the context of loving yourself. This is doing things for yourself to make your life better, easier. You know, the love language term is reducing your burden and easing your stress. This also includes things like sacrifices. So, um, so acts of service. This is stuff like taking a shower, feeding yourself, doing what the doctor recommended, doing something boring in order to achieve an important life goal, and doing all those things even when you do not want to. Um, that is like the most important things. Doing things to take care of yourself. Um, like sacrificing things for yourself even when you do not want to, because you know the reality is that in life there's a lot of things that we need to do, you know, for self-care or for other things that are boring or frustrating, just like you know, like we'd rather put it off. You can absolutely like do things to make it more fun, like uh you know, gamification, like turning things into a game, and you can reward yourself, and that can definitely help. And sometimes, especially like if you're sick, like sometimes things are, just going to suck, even if there is a reward. But yeah, so acts of service, doing things for yourself to make your life better, because all these things that like might suck in the moment, these are things that are just going to make your life better, either like in short-term ways or long-term ways. And um there's also like a lot of ways where like you may not like notice how much better it made your life, because it's not something that you would really notice unless it's gone and you're not doing it anymore. But like building habits in terms of like getting through things like this, like in the long run, you are going to be happier and feel like your life is worth living. um yeah. I kind of like had a thought run through my head. Like doing something boring in order to achieve an important goal. um how you feel about that is going to depend on if it's your goal or if it's someone else's goal. So um definitely, um if it's your goal, like it's going to be a lot more fulfilling. So I kind of felt like I don't know, I'm making like promises on life there. But taking a shower, fitting yourself, like that's important stuff. Like you definitely don't want to skip that. So, doing what the doctor recommended, yes, lifestyle stuff, don't want to skip that. I don't know, that's why it felt a little depressing. Like acts of service is like really like a beautiful thing that you can do for yourself, and it's like it's one of the most important things. Like you can do all the things on this list, but if you're like not feeding yourself, like you're just screwed. Okay, I'm gonna go to this topic. Gifts. Gifts. Okay. So gifts. So this involves money. So which is like when people think about it, a lot of people think about money, which like that is very okay. Wait, first I'm gonna check out the chat. Chat. Okay, no one said anything. Okay, back to the gifts. Gifts. Okay, so I think with gifts, like a lot of people like might think like things that cost money, but like if you struggle with impulse spending, like yeah, uh, like money is difficult. But I wanted to say like gifts, these are not things that gifts don't have to be things that you buy or that cost money. Um, so you can make yourself handmade gifts. You can make yourself things like music playlists. Um, like if you go to the grocery store, regularly, you can, you know, the next time we're at the grocery store, you can like buy something that like what is it? Like it's like something that like you're like interested in and wanted to try, but what is it? But just like haven't gotten. So it's like, gifts like it can be like food that like you're going to eat, um, probably, unless for some reason it tastes really, really bad. But it's just like something a little new or different. What is it? Another thing I'll say about gifts, um, what is it? I really like there's this thing called Buy Nothing. Um it's an app um where like what is it? People like give away things for free. What is it? Yeah. So yeah, so like the idea is that you know, people give things away, um and then you're giving things away, and you know, people are just like buying nothing because they're giving each other stuff. You still have to buy things. But um and then like you can also like ask for things if someone has stuff. Generally if you're asking, like you're only going to get if it's something if it's like something that's like common. If it's like a specialty thing, you're probably not going to find it. But yeah, so like something like Buy Nothing is really cool. For like gifts that don't cost money. Is it? But yeah. Um yeah, so the other thing with gifts is the other thing with gifts is that you can make yourself a wish list of things that you want to get in the future. And one thing, one thing at least that I do for myself is like if there's like an item that I want, I won't get it unless it's been sitting on the wish list for like 6 months. Because there's a lot of items on the wish list that like 6 months pass. I'm like, wow, like I actually didn't really care about that item at all. Um, but you know, having a wish list um, means that like if you're ever gifted like a gift card, um, you're like, I don't know, like there's been times in the past, like before my wish list, where like someone would like give me a gift card. I'm like, wow, like I don't know like what to use this for. And then after like I had a wish list and like someone would give me a gift card, I'm like, oh my gosh, like now I can get the thing that I've wanted for 8 months. um, but um, but yeah, I don't know. That's a system that works for me. It's gonna be different for everyone. But yeah, like um, what is it? Yeah, you can also like buy yourself gifts that are that cost money. Um, you know, just make sure to you know, budget and you know all that. Um, let's see, gifts. Next one. Um, so slide. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta get a glass of water. There we go. Hello, I'm back. Every time I move the Twitch screen, the or you know this PowerPoint that's right behind the Twitch stream. It's funny. It's like it disappeared. Okay, anyway, I'm back. Okay, quality time. What is quality time? Quality time is in the context of yourself is giving yourself your undivided attention. So the simplest thing for this is downtime. Having it scheduled if you struggle with things like revenge bedtime procrastination, which something I've definitely struggled with. Something I first heard about it. It's basically when like you're so busy during the day that you how's it? It's like when you're so busy during the day that you stay up at night to make up for the downtime you didn't have during the day. So that's why it is important to schedule downtime for yourself. And also like having downtime for like downtime and not for like productivity about something that like I feel like I should be doing, but like isn't actually fun, even though I'm telling myself it's supposed to be. Like downtime, like it's like if you're forcing yourself to do something, that's probably not downtime. Um, but yeah, downtime, just chilling, relaxing, giving yourself your undivided attention. Um, so wait, do we have is that slide? Oh yeah, okay. Let me go to the next slide. So what are things you can do for downtime? Or what is it? Examples of like scheduled downtime. Schedule a date with yourself. What is it? So yeah, so you can have like dates with yourself like at home or you can go out. So like imagine what would you do to take someone out on a date? So yeah, just think about like if you were to take someone out on a date, like what would you do? Um, and then like what you do is probably going to depend on what that person is interested in. In this case, what are you interested in? Um, so that's going to depend on like what type of person you are. So maybe you're like a coffee and walk in the park person, or maybe you're like a hiking person, or you like to go to goth dance clubs. What is it? Going on a hike alone. I don't know. Like in my area, there's hiking paths that are what is it? That are like well populated. So you can definitely go on hikes by yourself in more remote areas. But you definitely want to take the correct safety precautions. This is like a total tangent. But like if you go hiking by yourself, like in the middle of nowhere, or like just with a group, in the middle of nowhere, there's like these like special phones that you can like buy for emergencies. It's like if you're in the middle of nowhere, like you know, um, you probably don't have like cell phone reception. But yeah, anyway, total tangent. So yeah, so imagine taking yourself out on a date. What would you do? Yeah, like what are you interested in? Yeah, like there's like so many different things. There's like so many different interests out there. But yeah, schedule a date with yourself. Um, yeah. Also, like you can also like stay in. Yeah. um, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next slide. Physical touch as a love language for yourself. Oh yeah. Okay. So with physical touch, so this can be like self kind of like self this can be self-care stuff, like I don't know, like if taking a shower is like a nice, like maybe like taking a hot shower is like a nice sensory thing for you, that can be like physical touch, like like things like that where like it like really just like feels like nice, like physically, that counts as physical touch. You can also like literally just physically touch yourself. You can like cuddle with yourself. Like you can like literally just like touch yourself. How, I don't know. I imagine, is it like, yeah, like cuddle with yourself as like if another person was cuddling with you, but like you're cuddling by yourself and you're touching yourself how they would touch you if you were cuddling. um, yeah, like just cuddling with yourself. Um, yeah. Um, what is it? And then there's also coping skills. Um, honestly, like just like most things that, but like there's a lot of things that in life that are coping skills. It's difficult to find things that are not coping skills. But anyway, uh, that would be like a fun game to is it uh, what is it like come up with random like just random words and like see if it can be turned into a coping skill. Anyway, um, butterfly hug. Um, the butterfly hug. This is a coping skill. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you want to like put your hands you can put your hands in like a butterfly shape. You can also like just not put them in a butterfly shape. But you're basically like tapping your hands on yourself in an alternating fashion, slowly and gently. Um, so yeah, so you can do this like here on like your chest. You can do it on your shoulders. You can do this like on your legs. Um, it's just like a very like nice, like relaxing thing. Um, I'm like too excited about this PowerPoint to do the butterfly hug. We also have the squeeze hug. I'm like so hyped. And I'm like, these hugs are like so calming, but I'm like so excited about this PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. So squeeze hug. So it's basically like so there's two parts to this. So like there's like the crossing part where it's like you're like pressing down on yourself like to like feel like you're being hugged by yourself. And then you want to the second part is like you're squeezing oh by the way the part that you're holding to hug yourself is like your arms. So you want to place your thumbs where you feel most comfortable, and you want to just like kind of like squeeze yourself, squeeze your arms. Just like take deep breaths. Um, so the squeeze hug and the butterfly hug. All these pictures are from a video that I'm gonna put the link. Oh wait, forgot this is Twitch, not YouTube. Uh, anyway, what is it? I'm gonna post this on YouTube, um, and there's gonna be links for it, because those two videos are awesome. This one in particular is a really great video. But yeah, masturbation. When we're talking about physical touch, I forgot to give a not safe for work warning. But yeah, we're already talking about it. Masturbation. This is definitely goes into physical touch. So self love with masturbating can mean masturbating in a way that's more enjoyable. Dr. Doe. Again, this is gonna be a link that's gonna be on YouTube and not on Twitch. um, Dr. Doe did a fantastic video about how to what is it 33 ways to masturbate in a more enjoyable way. So yeah, unfortunately I can't do spontaneous links on Twitch, but yeah, Dr. Doe is great for sex ed. Love those videos. Self-love through touch also means working on any related addictions. So if you're addicted to porn, um, you know, uh, self-love would be, yeah, working through addiction. Also, if like you struggle with process addiction for like any of the things on this list, unrelated to that, like that's also like a self love thing to, work through addiction. Because addiction, very difficult thing, and it's very painful. Um, it's very complicated. um, but yeah, I'm gonna go to the next slide. Um, okay, wait. Okay, so that was it for the 5 love languages. Okay, first I'm gonna check the chat. Did anyone write anything? No one wrote anything. Okay, I'm gonna go back to talking. Okay, so yeah, so those were the 5 love languages as it relates to yourself. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about that. But the next 2, these are 2 that I added. Learn about yourself. So, you've probably seen you've probably seen things like take a bubble bath on a few hundred self-care therapy worksheets or online blogs and websites. But if you don't like bubble baths, like that's not self-care if you do bubble baths. Or it could be, I don't know. You want to do things that like you like. So yeah, so like find out like what like learn about yourself. Like what do you like? When you're upset, what helps you calm down? What do you like to do for fun? Outside the context of addiction. And deeper than that, who are you as a person? Um Sorry. It was like very existential. But I don't know, like finding out who you are as a person. I don't know, I think like taking like personality tests is like super interesting, and like it's even better if like someone has recommended you a personality test. Because they're like, wow, like your personality is really this. And you're like, oh, really? And you like look into it and like, oh my god, that was totally me. But yeah, so like yeah, but obviously it goes like way beyond things like personality tests. Like literally like what, like how do you feel about like things like morally? Like what philosophies are you interested in? And like philosophies don't have to relate to morals, and they also don't have to relate to religions. Or like maybe you're not into philosophies, and like who you are as a person is like I'm totally having a brain fart and I don't know what to say, but there's so much more out there. And I will think about it again. But yeah, who you are. There's that question is like so open to ended. There's like a million things. But yeah, like learn about yourself. I would say very important out of this list. When you're upset, what helps you calm down? What is comforting for you? What is like helpful for you? What, like when you're in a bad place, like what do you need? So yeah. Okay, learn about yourself. Okay, next one. Sitting in your pain as a way to love yourself. So, if you don't love yourself, realize that, specifically like if you hate yourself, realize that like, self-hate might be serving a purpose. Inside, self-hate has the advantage of distancing yourself from pain. Dr. K from Healthy Gamer once said, if you believe you don't deserve love, then you can never feel the pain of rejection. I will add, if you believe that you're a lazy piece of shit, then you can never feel the pain of living in a capitalist dystopia. If you believe that you are a horrible person and deserve to be punished, then you can never feel the pain of injustice. If you believe that you're responsible for every bad thing that's happened to you, then you can never feel the pain of things outside your control. So yeah, so if you struggle with self hate, see if you can identify like if self hate is an advantage. Um, there's also like situations where you know you don't love yourself, but you don't hate yourself either. Um, sometimes self love is just like a thing that you just need to learn, and it's not like you know, there's not, I guess, that much like added to it. It just totally depends on individual. Um, so yeah, so those are the 7 ways to love yourself. Um, um, I guess like some finishing ish thoughts. What is it? I don't know. What is it? I like one thing that might be helpful to think about is like literally kind of like seeing yourself as another person, and like the things that like you do to yourself, like imagine if like that's like how you would want to like treat someone else, and then it's the context of yourself, so treat yourself how you would want to be treated, treat yourself how you want to treat others. um, And then I was going to talk about why I brought up this whole topic in the first place. Um, how to love yourself. So, my channel, if I can get to making more presentations, I'm interested in talking about like political, social justicey things. In terms of like hopefully what is that actionable things, um and it is very important if you are doing political actionable things, or just like, how do I explain, okay, it's important to love yourself in any context. If you're doing political things, it is also important to love yourself, because you want to take yourself. You want to, if you're doing things that involve like healing the world, you want to take care of yourself before you take care of anybody else. Put put the gas mask on yourself before you help others with their gas mask. The whole airline thing, airline what's it called? The airline, yeah, airline thing. Airline speech in the beginning when they talk about what to do if the plane crashes. Hopefully you're paying attention, because your plane might crash. It probably won't. It literally won't. You should probably learn what to do in a car crash, because that is more likely. But how to love yourself. Oh yes, putting loving yourself, taking care of yourself before you know you try to do things to improve the world. Um, how do I say? So okay, so in general, for improving on the topic of improving the world, loving yourself, super 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 important, because I'm like trying to figure out the best way to word it. Generally, people who do things that harm are people who do not love themselves. So just by loving yourself, not that by hating yourself you're like causing harm in the world. Like how do I like rephrase what I'm saying? The point I'm trying to make. It is important for every single person to love themselves, regardless of the situation, regardless of anyone's actions. It's important to love yourself. I imagine that if everyone loved themselves, that the world would be a much, much better place. Um, for the reason of that, people who cause harm are generally people who do not love themselves. But also because when you love yourself, when if everyone loved themselves, um, people like you'd have like more energy because like if everyone on Earth today, this second, started loving themselves, yeah, like everyone would just like feel like more like energized and happy and healthy. um, I think like loving yourself when you're surrounded by people who don't love themselves, you know, or like the last slide where we got into the, some of the dystopian stuff. Loving yourself can be very difficult. Um, Loving yourself, and a lot of like other mental health concepts, they are very political in the sense that one of the mental health concepts, like things like boundaries, like when people when people love themselves, um, and enforce their boundaries, that's kind of like it's kind of that like that's when like power dynamics change. And there's a lot of mental health concepts that people really only think about on an individual level or personal relations level, but they're actually they're actually similar. They're actually not similar, but like they like these same contexts can play out like on very like incredible like large scale things like in government or society. Um, so yeah, so kind of like imagine like like if everyone on Earth loved themselves this second, the world would be a lot healthier on like every level. Um, so yeah, um, loving yourself is very important. So I think that is all I have to talk about this topic today. So I'm going to go back here. Um, I have a chat. Okay. Back to yeah, how to love yourself. That is all I have on the topic for today. Um, Yeah. What is it? Okay, so yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go now. Hope you have a good night, and thank you so much for joining for that presentation. And I'm looking forward to more streams, and hope you'll join again. Okay. Bye.